Hello and welcome to the Total Entertainment Podcast. My name is Paul and today's show at the Motorpoint Arena is WWE Live. Now we've got quite a few wrestlers from the SmackDown roster on here, and they include Roman Reigns, Finn Balor, Bianca Belair, Big E, Sasha Banks, Bayley, the Euros, and many more. But the lineup is subject to change. This is all depending on if the wrestlers have COVID and can actually get into the UK pending testing, etc. So fingers crossed that those wrestlers are in. With the wrestlers that I've just listed, let's have a quick look at some of their stats. So we've got Finn Balor, whose real name is Fergal Devitt, and he was born July 25th 1981, so he's slightly older than I am. He's an Irish professional wrestler who's currently signed to WWE, performing on the SmackDown brand under the ring name Finn Balor. In WWE, he is a one-time WWE Universal Champion, as well as the inaugural champion, a two-time WWE Intercontinental Champion, and a two-time NXT Champion. Also wrestling tomorrow is Bianca Belair, and she was born on April the 9th in 1989, so she's way younger than I am, and is an American professional wrestler currently signed to WWE under the ring name Bianca Belair on WWE SmackDown brand. She is the winner of the 2021 Women's Royal Rumble. Also wrestling is Tori Ewan, who was born March the 1st, 1986, younger than I am. Better known by his former ring name of Big E Langston. He is currently performing as Big E as an American professional wrestler signed to WWE, where he performs on the SmackDown brand. He is a 6-time WWE SmackDown Tag Team Champion. He is a 2-time Intercontinental Champion and was also a former NXT Champion. Right, so let's go into his championships and accomplishments. He was a Florida Tag Team Championship with Calvin Reigns. He held the NXT Championship under WWE. He was the 33rd Triple Crown Champion, the WWE Championship, WWE Intercontinental Championship twice, WWE Tag Team Championship twice as a member of the New Day and Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods tag teams. He was at WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championship 6 times and a member of the New Day, and the PWI ranked him as 215 of the 500 best singles wrestlers in the PWI 500 in 2011. Very impressive. Also fighting is Sasha Banks, whose real name is Mercedes Kastner Verando. She was born on January the 26th in 1992. Wow, she's very young compared to me. She is signed to WWE, performing on the SmackDown brand as Sasha Banks. She is 5 times WWE Women's Champion, one of the inaugural WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, and also a former NXT Women's Champion. She is also known for her time in the Northeastern United States independent circuit. Right, so let's get on with what she's accomplished in her career. So, she was the Chaotic Wrestling Women's Championship. She held that once. She was NXT Women's Championship once. She has the PWI Match of the Year 2015. PWI ranked her number 3 in 2015. They then ranked her 2nd in 2016. They ranked her 4th in 2017 and 14th in 2018 and 14th in 2019 in the top 100 females. She won the RWC No Limits Championship 1 time, and she got the WWE Raw Women's Championship 5 times, the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship once, and the WWE Women's Tag Championship twice. And last on my short list of wrestlers that are wrestling today is Bayley, whose real name is Pamela Rose Martinez. She was born June 15th, 1989, who is an American female professional wrestler who is signed to WWE, performing on the SmackDown brand under the ring name Bayley. She is 2-time WWE SmackDown Women's Champion and 1-time NXT Women's Champion, 1-time WWE Raw Women's Champion, and one half of the inaugural WWE Women's Tag Team Champions with Sasha Banks. If you're a band member or an artist, dancer, singer, actor, street performer, and you're listening to this and you'd like to talk to us on our show about your latest gig or your album release on digital media, or even want to talk to us about a student show, how about dropping us an email on musterxmedia1983@gmail.com and we'll get you on our show. I'm down at the Motorpoint Arena and today we've got the wrestling. The WWE are in town and let's see how many trucks we have. Let's see how big today's show is. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 trucks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coaches. So the coaches are obviously for the wrestlers, their entourage, the crew, the trainers, etc, etc, and even the medics and physiotherapists and all the media personalities. As yet we still don't know exactly who's wrestling today, and we will find out just before. And the reason for this delay in finding out who's actually wrestling is because of the COVID situation. We don't know if any of the wrestlers have tested positive, so I'm guessing they would have brought backup wrestlers as well. Currently at my time of arrival there are no super fans waiting outside to see if they can get a glimpse of the wrestlers. With a bit of luck, today's event will not be a washout with lots of dropouts, but only time will tell.
A few moments later.
Inside the arena at the moment they're building the ring, and you'd be surprised how many pieces it actually comes in. Nice little riser made out of steel decking, and now they're currently laying the padded canvas and the posts are in position, but the turnbuckles or ropes still haven't gone on yet. Most of the barrier has gone down and the mats around the ring. They're currently kicking out the roll of rubber matting going from the backstage area down to the ring, and obviously getting the barriers up ready to go for that. The pickers just left the building. The LED screen for the wrestlers' entrance is up and running. The doorway is cut through, and they're doing a quick video test with the LEDs, and it looks like it's going to be amazing. It's a new generation LED wall compared to the Stereophonics, which is the first generation, and the clarity of this screen is amazing. It's high def, and the colours are real rich, and as well as the graphics processor being immensely powerful.
A few moments later.
The walkway into the squared circle has been put up, so all the barriers are in, the mats down, and the ring itself, the squared circle. The ropes are on and all the padding's put in. They're just waiting for the canvas to go down. All the lights are up, the sound stack's up, the trusses are up. The screen is still being tested. They're just colour balancing it now and positioning the back piece. Where the doorway is through the screen, they're positioning the bit that goes behind it, so the wrestlers will come either side of the back screen so they can have their reveal. The backstage area is completely masked off with the LED wall, well, a section of it. The back wall is 3 meters away from the forward wall. There's enough depth of the back screen to give the wrestlers their perfect concealed entrance, as well as having the doorway not look like it's an actual doorway, so it's enough to give the illusion of a solid wall. Once the last of the chairs have been put in, the venue manager as well as the tour manager from WWE's perspective will check all the sight lines from all the banks of seats to make sure that everyone can see the ring. Warning, this podcast contains strong, offensive and misogynistic language that some listeners may find offensive. The name's Vert. Percival Reginald Vert, and I run the P.I Act detective agency. The year is 2055 and the police have been defunded, so if you need a police investigation, the cops will charge you 1,000 big ones a day. Because of this, the government introduced the P.I Act, where the private investigators can undercut the police so justice can become affordable. These are my case files. New episodes every Wednesday. The links are in the description. Today's WWE show is not being televised. Well, I'm saying it's not being televised. It's not being broadcast. There will be cameras here recording sections of it, so then they can add into the main programmes on whichever show they're going to add these wrestling matches into. They're currently setting up the camera positions either side of the walkway, as well as there'll be the roving cameras close to the ring.
A few moments later.
They've now started to lay the canvases for the ring. The canvas skirting is just going on now, and as they're doing that, they've strategically placed 2 steel chairs either side of the ring at both the north and south sides of it. So I'm guessing that there's going to be a bit of a steel chairing incident at some point during tonight's show. Although that cannot be confirmed, they may just have stashed them there for no reason at all, hint hint. They set up a couple of steel chairs ringside, which are always there, so someone's going to be sat on them at some point, adjudicating and whatnot, and possibly they get tossed to one side and those chairs will be used for a bit of a steel chairing as well. Who knows? That's all the magic of theatre. I say the magic of theatre, that's the magic of WWE, which is highly theatrical in the sense of high octane drama. The video wall back piece is now completed and is slightly wider and higher than the actual screen itself, so now when you're looking end on, it looks seamless. So now the wrestlers, when they come out, they're completely masked until the last possible minute, and the video wall looks amazing. The clarity on there is absolutely amazing, there's no expense spared. And once that was up, the canvas skirts for the ring are now all fully up, and it is simply WWE Network and WWE Live. So nothing dedicated to SmackDown or Raw, so they can pull it into any of the shows that they wish to put it into. Currently you've got a sniffer dog and his handler just running around the arena. This is a security measure that the WWE Network insist on. This is because it's the rules set within the WWE Network. They stipulate that sniffer dogs must be present at all times during the arena, and just having a little walk around to make sure that no one's planted anything that shouldn't be there. It's a brown Springer Spaniel, just having a fun time bouncing around the arena floor at the moment. The quest for absolute perfection from the WWE is very, very amazing. I didn't even realise this. Where the components of the rings have been in transit, they get a bit scuffed. So what they're doing right now to get rid of the scuffs, they're walking around respraying all the ring posts. All of them, just so they completely glitzed and glossed. No one will notice any scuffs because the scuffs are now vanished. Now that is attention to detail, and a lot of people don't even realise the attention to detail that they put in there. They just see, oh, it's pro wrestlers, they're just throwing each other around to a choreographed dance, shall we say. It's all fake and whatnot, but no, this is pure choreography at the finest. And as I say, this is them dressing everything up to look absolutely perfect the first time. The house is nearly ready to open up, and I'll let you in on a few little secrets of today's show. So, at some point the plan changed during the pandemic, and for one reason or another, no one knows exactly what happened. The set has been moved forward by 8 foot, which 8 foot doesn't sound that much, but it is when you've got seats where the ring now is. So the good guys in the arena managed to rejiggle a few things to accommodate the change, and it looks just as flawless as it's supposed to be. It's just one of those issues that no one needs. The production company don't need it, and neither does the arena. It's just mistakes happen, and it's just how you deal with it. And everyone handled it in such a professional manner. It was good. It was resolved very quickly, very easily, and everyone is happy and everyone's a winner. At the moment, they're keeping the lineup top secret at the moment. What I can tell you at the moment is there are 4 fights in the first half of tonight's show, and there are 3 in the latter half. But as to who's wrestling today, we will never know. Not until it happens at that particular point and in that particular time. I love a nice bit of excitement this way. It always keeps you on your toes, keeps you guessing. See how we get on.
A few moments later.
And we're back. The house has now just not long opened up. People are streaming in nice and steadily and are making their way to the seats without any fuss. That's good, that's good. What I've noticed is on the giant video wall, they've got that connected into the WWE Live Twitter feed. And and everyone's tweets are going up there with photos and everything, so that's not bad. So I'm guessing that you got someone who's vetting all of these before they go up, because I guarantee you if I posted something on there from Muscle X Media and I put something stupid on there, it will not make the screen. But anyways.
A few moments later.
Currently there's a VT playing which is going to last up to 8 minutes, where they're just going through a few highlights of what's recently been going on, a few promo videos, and then they're going to go back to the social media. So the promo videos are the wrestling toys and a few other bits and bobs. Suppose some of the superstars having their little promos on there as well. So once the VT was over, they went back to the social media, getting silly comments like "seats aren't too shabby," hashtag WWE Cardiff. Cardiff, let's go finally after 2 years of waiting. Great day in Cardiff now to rock the house at your events. See you soon, WWE Cardiff. Hashtag WWE Cardiff at WWE UK. Finally, after 2 years, I'm so excited to see this WWE Cardiff. A long wait, but you're still back in Wales. WWE Cardiff, excited after 2 long years. WWE Cardiff after 2 years of waiting. And at this point, we are at 48% capacity. We don't know any dropout numbers just yet, but we shall find out in due course. Cardiff at Motorpoint Arena, Cardiff in Cardiff, South Glamorgan. Day 3 on tour, leaving London on the way to Cardiff for WWE Cardiff. Back at my first WWE event since November 2019, let's go. We've arrived, hashtag WWE Cardiff. Heading to Cardiff for my first WWE at WWE UK event. 10-year-old me would be buzzing to get to see Rey Mysterio. Seats aren't too shabby, right.
A few moments later.
We're a couple of minutes to the top of the show and the crowd are loving it. They're all hyping themselves up and wooing as though they're Ric Flair. The crowd are just waiting in anticipation. We're just about to start the show and they're just doing a quick test of the ropes in case they need to tighten them up. It's the final VT and then they're going to get an introduction and then the show will start. This podcast contains themes that are unsuitable for younger listeners and parental guidance is advised. It's been 30 years since they came. 30 years? No! They took my child! 30 years? I'm gonna kill you. No! It's been 30 years since they came. New episodes every Friday. The links are in the description. So in conclusion, the first fight of the night was Alpha Academy versus Street Profits, and the Street Profits won. Then you had Ziggler and Rude versus Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio, so the Mysterios. Rey Mysterio is obviously the father and Dominic Mysterio is the son. And then halfway through the fight, Seth Rollins came down and attacked Rey Mysterio. Then, as the Mysterios had their asses handed to them by Ziggler, Rude and Seth Rollins, he then had Finn Balor come down and he helped out Rey Mysterio and his son. Then the match restarted, became a 3-person tag team. Then you had a hardcore match. Are they still called hardcore matches or street fights? But whichever it is, it was Jinder Mahal and Drew McIntyre. So Drew McIntyre came in with holding his sword, nice little gimmick there I have to say, coming down with his big old mighty Scottish sword. Then there was a 20-minute interval, which was followed by fight number 4, which was Happy Corbin versus Kevin Owens. Then you had the Intercontinental Championship between Shinsuke Nakamura versus Apollo Crews, and that was won by Shinsuke Nakamura. He retained his championship belt. The highlight of that match was Shinsuke Nakamura's pal that did his entrance. He was playing guitar live as he was coming down the ramp, which was good. I've never seen that before. And then you had the main event, which was Bianca Belair versus Becky Lynch for the Women's SmackDown Championship. And Becky Lynch retained her championship. Although I have to say, it was not bad actually. Since the last time I saw female wrestling, and we're talking back to the Attitude Era, so a long time ago now. The standard of ladies wrestling has increased tenfold, by far easily. A lot more high octane moves, a lot more high risk moves and dangerous moves, and I have to say that they were pretty great, with Bianca Belair doing a few gorilla presses and doing a lot of acrobatic maneuvers to get out of some of the dodgy moves that she was put in, and at the end Becky Lynch beat her fair and square, I suppose. I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. I enjoyed doing this because it was something completely different, and it's been a long time since I actually saw a live wrestling match. Thank you for listening, and I shall catch you next time.